Paranormies, it's Alice, and you're on the light side of the paranormal. Man, it has been a hot minute since I've had this background, and I've been in my creepy basement. But if you're new to our channel, I should give a little disclaimer. I am in my creepy basement right now, and I do have big crazy dogs that like to walk around, and the sound just gets amplified, so I'm sorry if there's any background noise. So today I'm going to be doing something completely new for our channel, and I'm really excited about it. This might end up being a series because as I was looking into everything, there is so much more to cover. So if this goes well, here's hoping, let me know in the comments section if you want me to make this a series, and I can cover many different things within this realm. But today I'm going to be talking about one of the many creatures of Trinidad and Tobago folklore, the Douens. So if you're like wondering, Alice, you're not from Trinidad, why Trinidad specifically? My husband's family is from Trinidad. He was born in Canada, but his mom's side is all from Trinidad and Tobago. And so when I went there to visit a couple of years ago, I completely fell in love with the culture and the food. Oh my gosh, the food. And just everything. And it's pretty common knowledge with anybody that knows me that I am into the creepy and spooky things in this world. And so, of course, it would come up in conversation. And when I heard about this, I was like, I need to cover this for our channel. It is so cool and so creepy. So like I was saying before, there is a very broad spectrum of folklore within Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean in general, I'm finding out. I just love that it's completely different from anything that I heard growing up, and it's so freaking creepy. Quickly before we get started, if spooky and paranormal content is your jam, become a part of our Paranormy fam by clicking that subscribe button. Now there is going to be a lot of reference to like baptism and Christianity and things like that. This is not meant to be me imposing any sort of beliefs onto you. Whatever your belief system is, like this is just folklore. So there is a lot of like religious undertone in the beliefs surrounding the Douen. So I just wanted to preface with that if you were wondering. But let's jump right into it because I could talk forever. So the Douen, which is spelled D-O-U-E-N, it is a creature within folklore in Trinidad and Tobago. And basically what they are, what they're said to be, are the lost souls of children and babies who passed away before they were baptized. And now they're forced to wander the earth forever as these cursed beings. Really dark right from the get. But let's just keep going. The appearance is what really captivated me when I was hearing about this and then later doing more research into it. Basically, the Douens are said to be 2 to 3 feet tall, sometimes even smaller. Most notably with their feet and knees turned backwards. Yeah, so the front of the body is facing you and then the knees down are backwards, facing the other direction. Nightmarish. Okay, yeah. They have human-like genderless bodies and are typically nude, apart from their very oversized big straw hats that are flopping all over their giant heads. And to make it even creepier, the heads bear no face, but very small shriveled mouths. So what is the Douen's purpose? Well, their main purpose is to lure unsuspecting, unbaptized children, sometimes baptized children, but especially unbaptized children, that's very clear within the research that I've done, lure them away from their homes, away from their parents and their safety, and into the dark woods. In many cases, these children will wander so deep into the woods that they are never seen again, and they're lost forever. Now this next point wasn't consistent in every single site that I was researching this, but I felt that it was important to mention it because it was mentioned a couple of times. So it's important to note that if the lost child is not baptized, the Douen will take them and transform them into one of their own, where they will be forced to wander the world as a Douen themselves. Outside of that horror, they also just are generally mischievous and they like to play pranks on humans and children and things like that. But the biggest theme with the Douen is that luring. So let's talk more about that. I'm calling it the enticement. So it usually begins on a full moon after 6 p.m. 6 p.m. specifically was mentioned many times throughout my research. So at this time, the Douen will begin by emitting a mesmerizing and rhythmic whooping sound. This is said to hypnotize and call the children out of their homes towards them. But most effectively, and most commonly, the Douen will call the child by name, luring them into the forest. And Douen have the ability to perfectly mimic the voice of a loved one. So similar to skinwalkers and things like that, we've talked about this, very similar ability there. They will use the voice of somebody familiar to you, somebody that you trust, somebody that you love, sometimes pretending to be in danger and they need your help, or sometimes just being a friendly voice saying, come here, come and see me, you know, Alice or whatever, you know, come out of your house, come and see me. And so they take that child's name and lure them out into the forest. Because of this tactic, it is widely believed all throughout Trinidad and Tobago that you do not call your child by name when you're in like the wilderness or anywhere near the forest, or even sometimes in public places. They are worried that if the Douen are listening, which they always are, they will learn your child's name and they will take your child from you. Like, that's a very common belief. How terrifying is that? Where are the Douen found? Well, as you've probably noticed, there's a recurring theme here of the forest. They are in the wilderness, they're in the bush, they're in the forest. They're also found near bodies of water, and we're not talking like beaches and stuff like that, like murky streams in the forest. Now, the only time that they're seen around homes or in public populated areas are when energy is paid to them by speaking their name, Douen. I just screwed myself. This whole video, they're gonna come for me now, watch. Well, I'm not a child, so that's different, so that's good. You will sleep tonight. Also, if they catch word of an unbaptized child, they will seek that child out, and they'll often appear as the child's new best friend, seen playing and frolicking with them, and it's all fine and dandy until the parents realize the backwards feet. At this point, their child is in very grave danger. Lastly and sadly, the Douen can also be seen going door to door in neighborhoods or posing as homeless children on the streets, asking and begging for a mother to take them in. They're heard weeping through the night, these lost souls. And I'd read that once they're in your home, it's not just about getting your child out of your home, though that is most commonly what's done. But once they come into your home, once they're playing with your child and things like that, they're so difficult to remove. They're seen as very clingy and possessive, the way that a child would be of you, the way that your child would be of you. They're almost impossible to remove. So the home needs to be very deeply spiritually cleansed. Oftentimes there will be an actual exorcism of the home, but the verbiage and the wording wasn't exorcism. It kept saying religious intervention, which to me that sounds like exorcism, but it could be something else. So if you know more about religious intervention of a home, comment down below. We want to hear about it. But that is basically everything that I could find through all my cross-referencing on the internet and speaking to people from Trinidad themselves. If you grew up hearing this story about the Douen, please comment down below what you grew up hearing, because I don't know if I mentioned this already, this is a tale that is mostly told by parents to their children to keep them from running off, to keep them from going too far, from getting lost, from getting hurt. They want to keep their children safe and close, and this is a great way to deter them. Yeah, like I'm getting La Llorona vibes. Different place in the world, but still that same kind of, parents protecting their child folklore. But I just found this so creepy, and I can only imagine being a child myself and hearing this for the first time. Wow, I'm sure that it never really leaves you, that fear of the Douen. But yes, I want to hear your experiences with that. Chris, my husband, told me that when he first heard about this, he was around 11 years old in Trinidad, and it totally knocked his socks off. He was like, what? This is a thing? Like, because they don't say, hey, this is folklore. A lot of it is widely, truly believed. And for all we know, the Douen could really be out there. But I hope that you enjoyed this Caribbean folklore tale, specifically to a knowledge from Trinidad and Tobago. Comment down below if this should be a series, because there are so many creatures within Trinidad folklore, Caribbean folklore. I was reading, like skimming through, and they're all just as terrifying and just so different. I feel like there's not a whole lot of people on YouTube talking about this, and so it's just very fascinating to me. So much in the paranormal world seems to be a little overdone, you know? And so just trying to give you that fresh content and shedding some light on maybe some things that you haven't heard before. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you're not yet following us on Instagram, please do that. It's at TLS_paranormal. And I have a personal Instagram, as well as Jen, my ghostess, on here. She is not with me today, but she is with me in spirit. So definitely give us a follow on Instagram. And as always, live your life with love and light. See you next time. Bye.